Alright, so my buddy Donnie and I decided to go FPV flying Saturday after Thanksgiving in 2018. And so Donnie takes off and he throws this wing. He's flying it out third-person view, looking at it from the side. Now, right about now, he puts his goggles on, and this is what he sees. Basically, nothing. The fog is too thick for him to see. He now realizes this was a dumb idea, and so he panics and flips it into return to home. Return to home basically is autopilot. It'll keep the aircraft above us, and it just flies itself. Because on Donnie's on-screen display, he does not have an artificial horizon, so he doesn't know if he's upside down, sideways, or what. So we're sitting here, and we can hear this airplane above us at roughly 400 feet just making circles, but we can't see it. So Donnie sees a little glimpse of blue light there, so he's like, okay, well, maybe I can climb up above the fog, kind of get my bearings. You see the sun right there, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit. So he kind of flies it up and gets up above the clouds here. Try to get his bearings here. You see that plume of smoke off in the distance? That is the local paper mill. And so he can see that, plus the sun gives him we know that's due east of us at about a mile away. Actually, it's about 2 miles away. And he's just making big circles up here above the clouds, kind of figuring out that, all right, now, right there's the gap that will take Donnie back down to the ground. Now, at this point, he's still kind of figuring out what he wants to do. Doesn't know if that's what he wants to do yet. So he's going to keep flying around in circles a little bit, trying to get his bearings, kind of figure out a plan on how we're going to get this down. So I put my goggles on, and I started recording what he's seeing. So that's what you're seeing down here in the bottom right-hand corner. That's the on-screen display. He's up at 860 feet. That's that little slider on the right. He's going 43 miles an hour. That's the slider on the left. Up at the top, you see the return to home arrow. That's a picture of that house, and just to the right has an arrow, so that points the direction that he needs to go to get home. So he at least knows where he needs to be or how to get home. There goes that plume of smoke off in the distance from the paper mill again. Now down at the bottom, you see where it says 90 feet, 100 feet. That's the distance to home. So he's going out to 300 feet now, just kind of figuring out what he's going to do. At this point, we're both shaking. How are we going to get this aircraft back down? We can't see it. This is not going to end well. So there's that little gap again. And at this point, he starts thinking, man, maybe I need to kind of go back down through that gap or something, find some gap in the clouds and try to get this thing back down through a gap. That way he can at least tell, the angle of his wings. If he can see a ground or some sort of a reference, he'll know what he's getting himself into. So he sees that gap there, and he's like, okay, this is now or never. So he starts diving. You can see 600 feet as he's diving, 50 miles an hour, picking up some speed here, 400 feet, 300 and 200 feet, and then now he can see the ground. So at least he's back down below the fog bank. This is the first time we've ever flown in fog, so it's pretty scary. Of course, there's some moisture getting on the lens, so it's kind of clouding things up a little bit. So he's 500 feet from home. He's got the arrow straight up, telling him he's heading straight back to us at 70 feet and 20 miles an hour. You can now kind of see us a little bit, and Donnie puts it down. So good job to Donnie.